Dear friends, welcome to my video. In this video, we'll see how to make your Car DashCam Android app, which is also called Dashboard Camera app. So let's begin. Create a new project, empty activity. You can name it as Car DashCam app. You can name it anything, it doesn't matter. Rest of things I will leave as it is. Probably I'll increase this to the latest versions and click finish and wait for the environment to load. It may take a while to load. Once the environment loads, the first and foremost thing what I'll do is I'll go to the manifest file and define all the required permissions. So what all the permissions we'll need is, one is like read media images, then read media video, what else, internet. I am not sure if you'll require, probably give it if you want to send recorded files on network as a backup or somewhere. Record media audio definitely, and what else, probably record audio. I think that's also will be required. So don't get confused between these two, read media and record media. So this is for reading, this is for recording. Why is this yellow thing? Let me see. Suppress. Uh, no, I don't want to suppress it. Probably there should be some workaround for this. As I know, there is a workaround. Like along with this, I can request the permission to visual selected. If I include this, most likely it should be done. Yeah, that's what I was expecting. So it looks clean now. What else I'll need is, probably everything is fine. The last is I'll need a permission to access camera. That's all. I think again it should. Okay, so it's giving some error. That's surprising. So let me see. Add use feature or suppress. I'll say I'll go for add use feature, which is nothing but it will add use feature of camera. Okay. So once I've done this, I don't think I need anything else from the my files part, and I'll go to the Java code where I'll in the onCreate method itself I'll quickly ask for all the permission from the end user. So request permission, of course this new string, and over here I'll come to the all the strings one by one, and package manager dot permission granted. Now the only thing I have to do is I have to fill this part, which I will do by going to the manifest file and one by one. Control C, Control V, comma. Okay, just press Alt Enter. It will include the required thing. Control V, comma. Again Alt Enter. So it's a bit monotonous task. I'll do it for 3-4 times. You can skip it further. Anyway, code will be available on my website, so you can always refer there. I'll do that. Yeah. So let me complete for all first. Then I'll keep including the required libraries by pressing Alt Enter. If you have noticed, for internet I don't think we'll need that. So internet by default permission is given. So here choose the second one. Okay, for camera. Then for others I don't think there will be any confusion. You just keep pressing Alt Enter and it will include all the required imports over here. Okay, perfect. So now once we are done, I'll know first go to the layout. First we'll complete the layout. That's also pretty much straightforward. I think I'll have just a couple of buttons. One will be for starting. So start the recording. Start recording, and the other one would be to stop recording. That's it. Nothing more fancy. And stop recording. Yeah. And text view I don't think I'll need. You can always include that if you want something more than that, like to display the amount of time which is uh, passed by in all. But here I'll just need two buttons and a texture view to preview our whatever we are recording. Okay, so I'll just include this over here. And okay, probably what I'll do is I'll make it something like longer, because there's a we'll be using media recorder audio, and for that we may have to rotate this by 90 degrees to make it work. Okay, So now one by one I'll give the constraints to both the first buttons. So I'm just doing in terms of designing, I'm just doing it very rudimentary. I'll suggest you that you do it as per the requirement of your app. So perfect. So for this texture view is the ID, so that's what we can use in our Java code. So I'll go into the Java code, and first and foremost I'll define the class variable called TextureView, so that I can associate it with the widget TextureView in the layout. findViewById R.id.textureView. So if you notice, it was TextureView in the layout also, same thing over here. Yeah. Now coming back to the Java code, I'll quickly define couple of method to pick public void button start recording, so that this can get triggered by the button on click whenever the buttons are clicked. So I'll create second method also for the stop one, the public void button stop recording view. Perfect. Now if I go back to my layout and quickly one by one I'll define this on click in the on click attribute over here. So if you scroll down somewhere, you should get on click attribute. Over here. Okay, if you don't get it, just search it in the attribute search over. Perfect. So if you go back to the Java code, both the color of this method should change to bluish from the gray part. Now before we proceed, we'll define a couple of more class variables. So right now this texture view is a grayed out because it's not being used anywhere, but once we complete our code, definitely it will be used somewhere. So we'll be using something as MediaRecorder. So we are just creating the variables right now for MediaRecorder. What else I'll need is probably I'll need for a StorageManager to access this, which is basically to save our files in, probably we save the files in the download folder. So storage volume, and in the onCreate method itself will create these variables. So say for example, first I'll go with the storage manager. So this will be get system service and storage service. Go for the second one. It may ask you to, I think, cast it. Yeah, just cast the expression, and then we can derive the storage volume from this storage manager. So just go for a storage volume, a storage manager dot get volumes, and it will be a list of volumes. So what we can do is we can get the one of them. So 0 is for internal, 0 for internal storage, 1 is for external. So we'll be storing it in the internal storage itself in the downloads folder most likely. So that's all I guess in terms of the class variables. Now we can define our this one. We can start the coding here, or probably what we do, we will do the coding in the first in this start button. So first and foremost, what I'll do is I'll define a file variable, file for storing whatever file for video, file video, and over here we can create a new file, storage volume dot get directory dot get path. Yeah, so this will give me the path of the root of the internal storage. Then I can append the path where I want to run it. So say for example I want to store it in the download folder. So download slash, and then we can give some name to the file. So what I'll do is I'll give a name which is basically on the timestamp, so print time in millis, and then probably I can add some extension. So mp4 is the format we can use. You can try with different formats also, it doesn't matter, and that's fine. There is some yellow warning, let me see what it is all about. So replace with object, yeah, just do it. It will just add that that it should be a not null thing. Okay, so once we have this variable, which is basically the file variable, we can use this in our media recorder, new media recorder, and context should be of course the current application. You can just use the get application context, or this also is fine. And then in media recorder, we'll set the different attributes one by one. So say for example, first we'll set this video video source, and this could be the default source. So I'm not sure if it takes the default basically the camera. So no, I was expecting something else. Okay, let me see if source video source dot default. Yeah, this is what I was expecting. You can even choose camera, both should be same. It depends on device to device. So since I'll be running it on emulator, default works. And then I'll set the audio. I'll do the of course audio recording also. Here again you can choose the audio source. Let me see what all options I get. If default is your, what is it there? Okay, I'll choose mic over here, but I think default will also be working fine. And what else I can choose is set output format. And here formats, I'm not sure what all formats they provide, so I'll again check output format dot. Okay, here again there is a default, so I'll better go for default wherever it's available, because I'm not I don't want to, yeah, show different lots of confusing options, but you should definitely try out whatever you want to try with the different options. The pros and cons like resolution, clarity, size of the files which gets recorded will get impacted. However, uh, I'll just keep it simple. Yeah. So now in terms of video encoder, again I'll go for default. Wherever default is there, I'll prefer to go for default for this demonstration. And the last one I think I have to set is the audio encoder. Perfect. So once I have done this, the other thing what I'll have to set is the, I think the output file itself I didn't set it yet. So output file, and we have defined the output file just now. However, I think that should be fine. We can just give that as an input. Probably I think I'll have to get the path. I'm not sure. Yeah, just do a path thing. And then what we have to do is media recorder. What else we can set is something like max duration or file size. This is important to have a kind of some kind of safety check. So say for example, for max okay, this first I will set the, I think the duration, set max duration, and duration could be, say for example, in milliseconds is what I can see. So I can go for any number. I have tested till 10 minutes also it works, but for this demonstration I'll use a smaller number like 20 seconds, probably 20 seconds for demonstration. uh, but can be used for larger duration such as 10 minutes also. Yeah, similarly for file size I will just restrict it to something like 1 MB probably. So I'm not sure what is the unit it's taking. So max in bytes, so it's in bytes. So yeah, so I have to give 6 zeros for 1 MB. Again again the file size can be also of larger, can be larger, it need not to be 1 MB over here. 1 MB considered in this demo, perfect. So what else I'll need is, that's all I guess. And then I'll need the surface to preview. So set preview display. So for that I'll need a surface. So surface I'll create from the my texture, whatever I created in my widget. So surface folder. No, I don't think I need a folder. I'll just go for a surface texture. Yeah, and this I can get from the texture view what we have created. Get surface texture. Perfect. And then we can use this surface texture to get the surface. So say for example, if I go for surface, new surface, and I can use this one surface texture. Perfect. So now I got the surface variable, so I can use this as an input for the preview over here. Perfect. And I think what I can also do is I'll rotate these things by 90 degree. And why we have to do it is because by default, I'm not sure if it's a problem with MediaRecorder, but it takes the input from the camera in the horizontal or landscape format. So which I don't like. I like it in portrait format. If like it in landscape, then that should not be a problem. You can work with the without using this. But yeah, to change to portrait uh, portrait form. Yeah, and I'll do the same thing with the my this one texture view basically, uh, because otherwise this will also get rotated to show it nicely or correctly. I'll set the rotation over here to 90 degrees. Again, this is same thing, so I'll to change to portrait form. Otherwise, by default, it's a landscape. So that's all I guess. Now I can prepare it, the media recorder, and run it or start it. Prepare, and then it may ask you to wrap it around try catch because prepare is a yeah important one. So in this try catch part, you can do return on all. Anyways, showing the errors, it will be taken care of. So let's assume everything is fine. Then we can start the recording by just calling the start method on this. And now what we'll do is read this on info listener. We'll read the listener over here because we may have to restart or redo the thing because we have set the maximum duration at 20 seconds. But what if you want this camera to keep rolling for longer duration? So over here we'll record it for longer duration, and for that what we'll do over here, new on info. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. And in this method, whenever there is a some information update, we can call our do something. So basically we can check this what part. So if what equals to, say for example, duration, maximum duration each. So media max, no, I think I'll have to type something completely. So media recorder dot max, this is what I was looking for, max duration reached. If this is true, then what we can do is we can probably stop the media recorder, stop it completely, release it if there's any previous versions of this, and then restart. So how we can start? Restart by calling this particular method again, but that should be in recursive. So I'll do one thing. Wait a minute. I'll just shift complete this method into another method. Control X, and I'll create another method called private void start video recording, and in this I'll just paste it. It was in my clipboard, so I just pasted it, and now I can recall this particular method, same method, recursively like this. And also I'll do one thing, from this button start I have to just call this method and nothing else. In the stop button method you will just call these two lines, nothing else. So I think that's all in terms of coding. I'm running it in an emulator to see how it comes up. So I'm pretty sure it will work because we have done the settings and all correctly, but let's see. So it may take a while. In the meantime, I'll just quickly show you one thing, that by default in the device manager, if you go here, there will be an edit option. So to make sure that cameras, the front and back cameras, whatever we are using in this example in the emulator, you go here in the camera, you can give some kind of options here. So I'll recommend that you can either use the actual camera also, webcam of your laptop, it will emulate, or you can give a virtual scene or emulated. So I've given virtual scene because that's what I'll be using it to demonstrate in this particular demo. But you can also use your actual camera, laptop camera, which is on the top of the camera of your laptop, and that will be able to work. So my emulator is booting up. It might take a while. Again, I'll just wait for the app to load up once the emulator also comes up after that. So I'll just wait for it. Once the app starts, I think it will ask for all the permissions one by one from the user for the first time. So make sure that you grant all the permissions, otherwise I've not done all the safety checks in this simple code, otherwise it may fail and all. So let the app come up. Perfect, app came up, and I think I don't know why this bottom part came up. So it's asking for all the permissions, so one by one just grant maximum permission whatever you can give while using this app. Always for record audio, for allow all, better to do that, because otherwise each time it may ask for the access. And now if I click on this start recording, let's see what it happens, whether it's able to record or not. So I click the start button. Perfect. So it's coming. So of course it's a virtual scene, as I told, as I just now showed, and you can rotate the virtual scene in the emulator by pressing, I think, shift and then arrow key or your mouse, whatever. I'm speaking also continuously, so I'll just stop recording and see if my voice got recorded or not. So just go to the downloads folder, because that's where I think we are
Button.
saving our
Perfect.
file
So
currently. So this
it's
is the
coming.
file name.
So
Of
of
course,
course it's a virtual scene, as I told, as I just now showed, and you can rotate the virtual scene in the emulator by
so
pressing,
that's
I
okay.
think,
So
shift
you can hear
and
audible
then
of my
arrow
sound,
key or
and this
your
is the
mouse,
Create
whatever.
emulator.
I'm speaking also continuously, so I'll just stop recording.
So that voice also got recorded. So I'll pause this. I don't know if I can. Yeah, I can pause it. So it's a 17 second is what I recorded. I think after 20 seconds it should have created another video. So I'll show that also, because we have given 20-second maximum timeline. But quickly I'll like to show a couple of things. One is this for camera. I'm repeating it. For virtual camera, just to go to your advanced settings over here and make sure that you have virtual scene set in the back over here. And for recording the voice from the mic, you go to this three dots. It will open up a external controls window separately. If it doesn't open up, just look at your taskbar below, and this go to the microphone, and over here just make sure this is enabled and those two are disabled. Then it will also take the laptop mic in the recording. Now I'll give one more final demo. I'll go back to the app. I can either reinstall or I can use it as it is. So now I have restarted the recording, and this time I will try to make sure that I exceed the 20-second timeline so that it creates multiple files. And I'm continuously speaking also intentionally so that my voice also gets recorded. If you can see in this, there's a also seen there's a TV, there are some windows, sofa. Okay, so if you heard some sound, that was because I think the new file recording started. And so this is how it will create multiple files. Of course, in real app, don't keep it 20 seconds. It's a very small time frame. Make it larger, say for example 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It usually works. So if you are going for a 1 hour drive, it will make probably 6 files for that, and then you can also use those files to upload it in your cloud and all wherever you require. Okay, so I'll stop now. I'm expecting it to create 3 files. If you have noticed, twice it did that mixed sound. So I will stop the recording, and if I go to the this my downloads folder. 3 files is what I was expecting. One is from the
So now I have
recording.
restarted the
So one
recording,
by one,
and
let
this
me
time I will try to
play
make
it.
sure that I exceed the
So
20
now I
second
have
timer.
restarted the recording, and then I will try to make sure that I exceed the 20-second timer. Yeah, if you see, it's a 20-second video. I'll play the other second one also. This should be also 20 seconds.
So if
And
you
20
heard
seconds I can
some
see it's
sound,
taken around 300
that was because I think
and
the
12 KB.
new file recording
So that's
started,
pretty okay.
and so this is how it will create multiple files. Of course,
And so this is how it will create multiple files. Of course. So this was a 20-second video. And why these green lines are coming is because of this emulator and all.
it will
When
make
my
probably
screen
6
recording is in progress.
files.
Otherwise, if you run this in the actual device, it will work fine. So this was a 16 seconds. So overall, we recorded around 20 into 240 plus 16, around 56 seconds video, and it will keep on going as long as you want to keep it going. So that's all I wanted to show you in this video, that how you can record the or make your dash cam for your recording the video from your back camera of your phone, and that's pretty much straightforward. So, and you can of course enhance this UI based on some text view and all, where you can record the time lapse based on you can just insert a clock and just make sure you are having a timer and all. I wanted to keep the code pretty much simple is and focus on the media recorder part and all the settings what you have to do to enable you to record the video and show it in a preview like this. So that's all. I hope this video is useful to you. If you have any questions or suggestions, then please put it in the comments.